Dear students, very good morning and welcome to our lecture number 6. As you all know, we are continuing biology, and if you can remember and remind, in last 4 or 5 lectures, I gave you an idea regarding all various types of life process. I gave you an idea regarding nutrition. We discussed in first 3 lectures in quite detail. We also explained you human respiratory system, as you all know. So in our first 3 lectures, you are taught about one very important life process. That is, we discussed about nutrition, as you all know. Then, in our lecture number 4 and 5, if you can remember, we had a discussion about respiration, one of the important life process. Through that process only, we inhale oxygen and throw out carbon dioxide, as you all know. And that oxygen is actually utilized for oxidizing the food in our cell during the process of cellular respiration, and energy is released. So you also got an idea about respiration in detail. Understood? Now, my dear student, in our today's lecture, what is actually our target is, in our today's lecture, today, as you know, that is our lecture number 6. Just try to understand in today's lecture number 6, we are going to study another very important life process, understand, which we call transportation. Actually, this word transportation is no doubt can be utilized in case of plants. As far as animals are concerned, we have to utilize the word circulation, not transportation. Actually, what is the meaning of this? If I write in lecture number 6, our today's target is to understand one very important process which we call transportation. But as I reminded you, this word is for not animals. We utilize it for plants. Understand? Transportation is a word we utilize for plant. The question may arise in your mind that transportation of what is required in plants. So as you know, in plants also plant needs to transfer water and mineral salts absorbed only by roots to each and every part of the plant, as you all know. At the same time, plant also has to transfer starch, glucose, for which sometimes we utilize the word photosynthetic product. So that photosynthetic product also has to be transported, which is actually produced in the leaf. But that is to be transported to each and every organ of the plant. So that is also required. Plant also control various biological processes with the help of phytohormones, plant hormone. So those hormones also need to be transported to each and every part of the plant. So plant also require a particular mechanism of transport for the transport of water, for the transport of minerals, for the transport of photosynthetic product like starch, at the same time for the transfer of phytohormones. Understand? In animal also, as you all know, we also need to transfer so many material throughout our body. Suppose you start thinking we have to transfer oxygen to each and every part of our body. We have to transfer food particle to each and every cell of our body. We have to transfer carbon dioxide, one of the gaseous excretory product, that is also to be transported so that it can be thrown out of our body. We also have to transport at the same time excretory products up to the excretory organ. We also have to transport at the same time hormones. Understand? We also have to transport antibodies to each and every part of our body. So my dear student, in plants we utilize the word transportation, but in animal we can utilize another word. Understand? That is called, in animals we can call it circulation. Understand? These two difference you need to understand. Transportation, this word is utilized for plants, and circulation word utilized in case of animals. Today our target is to study circulation in plants. That means we utilize the word transportation. We will study about circulation in our next lecture. That is, we have to understand one of the main pumping organ, that is heart. Understand? So we will specify one particular lecture for understanding the structure of heart and blood circulation in heart. Today our target is to study not circulation, but our target is to study today only about plants. Understand? Plant need to transport water, food and hormones from one part of the plant to each and every part of the plant. So today our target is to study plainly about the transportation in plant. This is just I mentioned that circulation is a word utilized in animals. In plant, transportation word is generally applied. Okay, let us try to understand how various products, various substances are transported in plants from one part to another. And first we are targeting the transport of water and minerals. Understand? In textbook they have given one diagram. Okay, we are just showing that diagram, but we are going to understand the inner fact, how the transportation of water and mineral take place, that we will understand just now. In textbook they have given a simple diagram. They have shown one plant this way, one tree. Okay, they have shown this way. Suppose this is one tree. Okay, then they have shown this way stem, and here they have shown roots. Okay, just 2 to 3, just we are showing you. Okay, And at the same time, they have also shown here, understand, actually they have shown here upward going arrows this way. This suggests that root actually is involved in the process of absorbing water. Understand? And here they have shown arrows this way. Actually, we will try to understand what this diagram actually suggests and mean to us. This way they have shown. Understand? Let us try to analyze and understand actually what happens. Understand? They have shown just a simple diagram of plant and they have shown arrows. We will try to understand what is actually the meaning of this. Understood? Actually what happens? Let us try to understand it. You all know that roots are actually the organ of the plant which is in contact with the soil particles. So plant obviously has to absorb water and mineral from the soil with the help of root only. Ultimately, actually what this diagram suggests, just try to understand. Take an example. Suppose I just want to explain you actually what happens. Suppose I am not drawing all roots, just one root to understand the process in detail. Suppose this is a stem, okay? Just try to understand with me. Suppose this is stem. Understand? I just, so actually we are trying to understand what the inner facts are about. Okay? Now what happens? Suppose this is stem. I am not drawing all root, just one root to understand the detailed process. Okay? Suppose I have shown one root here. Not all roots, we are just trying to understand actually what happens. Root is in contact with the soil particle, as we all know. Just I draw, these are soil particles, and actually root are in contact with these soil particles. Okay? What this soil particle actually consists of? So this soil particle consists of water along with mineral ions. Understand? You all know that plant also require minerals for particular growth and development. No doubt it requires carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis, but at the same time plant also require minerals also. Understand? Now actually what happens? This root possess root hairs. Let us try to show some root hairs here. Actually root hair are minute, but for your clear viewing we are just showing it here. These are root hair. Actually root absorbs water and mineral ions. Understand, actually mineral ions are already in dissolved form in water. So when plant absorb water, it also absorb mineral ions along with the water, and that occurs by root hair. Understand? So this minute root hair present on the surface of the root actually plays a very important role in absorbing water along with the mineral. Now actually what happens, understand, uh, uh, just visualize the diagram. Suppose this is stem. Actually, if I just draw one leaf here to understand this process in quite detail, okay, just let us draw one leaf here. That is just for our understanding actually what is the process is about. Suppose one leaf we are shown here. Now in the stem actually what is there? So there is a continuous passage. Just try to understand this actually. Up to the leaf actually a continuous passage is formed by xylem vessel actually. I am just showing you this tube-like structure you can consider as xylem. This is xylem, okay. What we have shown here is that tubular structure actually, that is xylem. Just try to understand. Xylem is one of the conducting tissue present in the plant for the purpose of what? For the purpose of making a continuous passage from root. The passage actually start from root, stem up to the leaf. Okay. So xylem forms a continuous passage of water. Understand? That function is performed by xylem vessels. You have already studied in detail in 9th standard about the various component of xylem tissue. Okay. Now what happens? Water along with the minerals enters root hair. Through root hair it enters xylem cell, and from one cell to another cell the process of diffusion take place here. Suppose I just show the xylem cell, suppose. Just try to understand. This is just for understanding these are xylem cells, suppose. So actually what happened? Water enters one cell and then it diffuses to another cell, then another cell, and this way the water rises up and reach up to the surface of the leaf. Actually this continuous passage of water, understand, is actually known as ascent of shape. Understand? Actually what is happening here? Just try to understand, right? It's very simple process to understand. See, water enters one cell, then via diffusion process, it passes to neighboring cell this way. Understand, this can be called an ascent of shape. Try to understand. And then water reaches, H2O reaches to the surface of the leaf. This continuous passage of water is also known as, try to understand, ascent of shape. We can utilize this word, ascent of shape, and actually try to understand one phenomenon responsible here, that is called root pressure. Actually what happens? Constant entry of water into the root will ensure that the water constantly diffuses to the neighboring cell and forms a continuous passage of water. Now my dear student, try to understand one very important thing. Okay. Root pressure helped in transporting water in the stem, and because there is a constant entry of water, the water column rises up in the stem. Now try to understand one very important thing which I want to share with you. Is it sufficient if the plant are short heighted, then this simple diffusion process is enough for transporting water from root up to the tip of the plant? Sufficient. Simple diffusion process from one cell to another cell, that is in successive cell, just a root pressure which is actually created by constant entry of water into the root cell. That root pressure is just sufficient to transfer water. Understand, if the plant are short heighted, but at the same time try to understand one very important thing. If the plants are taller, then do you think that the root pressure is sufficient for the transport of water up to the tip of the plant? A very not short plant, tall plants. Simple root pressure, dear student, is not sufficient. Simple root pressure is enough and sufficient for the transport of water if the plant are short heighted. But if the plant are taller, they have shown a tree, a taller tree, then how can the water entering the root can reach up to the tip of the last leaf? So for that purpose, one another factor is most important here. Try to understand. Root pressure is there. It is already helping the water column to rise in the girth of the trunk, girth, that is in trunk. Okay, but what happens? Do you require some extra force so that water can reach up to the tip of the leaf? Yes, some extra force is required for the transport of water up to the tip of the leaf if the plant are taller. Actually that force is created by stomata. You are already knowing about stomata very well. Understand what are actually stomata? So stomata are those tiny pores present on the surface of the leaf. No doubt, my dear student, you all know one thing very well. Less number of stomata lies on the upper side of the leaf and more stomata lies on the lower surface of the leaf. Actually, these stomata are helping here for the transport of water up to the tip of the leaf. Yes, definitely. Actually, what happens the moment water reaches to the leaf cell? You all know that stomata during the daytime are opened, and when sunlight is incident on the stomata, actually what happens? The water when reach here in leaf cell, understand, when water reach here in leaf cell, that water through this stomata is transpired. You all know the process, transpiration. Okay. So water when reach to the leaf cell, it is transpired in atmosphere in form of water vapor. So actually what happens when water in the leaf cell is transpired in the form of water vapor, there is a deficit of water created here because water is lost in the environment in the process of evaporation, that is transpiration. So what happens? Because suppose from this leaf cell, we are just drawing another leaf cell this way. Now suppose from this leaf cell, water is transpired in the environment, then there is a deficit of water, and that cell which has transpired, understand, water, try to pull water from neighboring cell. Because water is pulled from neighboring cell, it will try to take a water from neighboring cell, and this way actually water column is pulled up. One type of suction type of force is created, and that suction force, pulling force, is actually trying to pull the water column up. So what happened? Now there will be two factors. One is the pulling force created by transpiration process taking place with the help of stomatal pores present on the surface of the leaf. Okay, my dear student. So now, if the plants are taller, two factors are responsible for the transport of water. Understand? One that you all know, root pressure, and another that is the suction pulling force created, understand, to transfer the water from a root up to the tip of the leaf. Understand? So this is how the transportation take place in plants. So this is clear in your mind how transportation take place in plants. Understand? This question can be asked so many times. Understand? It can be asked in 3 or 4 marks. How water and mineral are transported in higher plant. That way the question can be designed. And as per your paper style from last year, there will be question of 1, 2, 3 and 4 marks. So it can happen that you are asked such type of question, explain how water and minerals are transported, understand, in higher plants. Understood? So which two force you will remember in your mind? Can you say me which two force are counted? One is root pressure and one is that successive pulling force which try to pull the water column upward created by stomata, understand, which actually transpire the water entering the leaf cell and creating a deficit of water which will create one pulling force to move the water column upward. So this way actually this is the way how the water and mineral are transported to each and every part of the plant. Or this is clear in your mind. So we studied about in today's lecture first topic, transportation of water and minerals in higher plant. Okay, I think clear in your mind, diagram are clearly visualized by you properly, understand, and I hope you understood the topic of transportation of water and mineral in higher plant. Now dear student, let us try to study another topic. Okay, I am just erasing. You must have drawn this diagram also to try to understand how the passage of water, actually how the water climbs up from root up to the tip of the leaf. Understand? So this is first topic of today's lecture, that is transportation of water, understand, in higher plant. Okay, I am just writing that topic which we have just now discussed. Okay, we discussed the topic already, that is transportation of water, okay, in plants. Now our target today is next topic, that is I am just writing transportation word I am not utilizing. I am utilizing the word translocation of food in plant. That is our next topic today. Okay, try to understand transportation of food in plant. In the start of the lecture, I already told you that transportation of water is required by plants. Plant also required to transport hormones. At the same time, plants also require a particular mechanism for transport of food products. Food means in the leaf what is produced? Starch, glucose is produced. Understand? And that starch or glucose can also be called, as you know, photosynthetic product. Now that photosynthetic product produced in the leaf has to be transported to each and every organ of the plant where it is required, because we all know whatever food is produced by the plant is utilized for performing various metabolic processes. At the same time, it is also required for the growth and development of the plant. So actually what happens, that photosynthetic product, starch which is produced, understand, we just write it, okay. In plant, when you say food, it means simply photosynthetic product. Dear student, try to understand. Actually, this photosynthetic product has to be transported from leaf to each and every organ of the plant. How it become possible? How the photosynthetic product produced in the plant can be transported to each and every other organ of the plant? It has to be transported to even seed. It has to be transported to even roots which are growing part to some extent of time. It also has to transport it to stem. It also has to be transported to fruits. Understand, it also has to be transported to flower, means birds in spring season. Understand? So actually the photosynthetic product needs to be transported to each and every organ of the plant. Actually, which conducting tissue is involved in the process of transportation of food product? Let us try to understand it. Okay, in for transportation of water and mineral, which tissue is responsible? We just now discussed, that is xylem. So at the same time, for the transportation of photosynthetic product, that is starch, in ultimately no doubt dissolved form, starch actually dissolves in water. So starch has to be transported to each and every part of the plant in dissolved form, that we all know. So what happened? How starch in dissolved form can be transported from leaf to each and every organ of the plant? Which tissue is responsible for that? Actually the tissue responsible for the transport of photosynthetic product is actually known as phloem. Phloem is the tissue responsible for the transport of photosynthetic product. Okay? Now, phloem is present everywhere. It is present in every organ of the plant, present in leaf, present in stem, present in branches, present in root also. Understand? Now actually what happens? How photosynthetic product are transported with the help of phloem. Understand? Let us try to understand the structure of phloem. I think you have already studied about, at least in some detail, the structure of phloem, if you can remember. We are just drawing the structure of phloem here. Actually, phloem and xylem are both are in vicinity of each other. Both are actually neighboring tissues. Xylem and phloem are quite beside each other. And actually xylem will help phloem in the transport of photosynthetic product, that is food. How it happened? First let us try to understand the structure of phloem. I am just you with me try to draw the structure of phloem. We are drawing the structure of phloem, not exact in coulombic format you should draw. Suppose, can you say what I have drawn here? I have drawn here, this is, can you remember the name of this, or should I mention it? Actually, it is known as sieve tube. What I have shown here? Sieve tube. Try to understand. I am just writing it, sieve tube. Actually, it is one of the major component. Okay. Sieve tube. Now, this sieve tube is a continuous passage for the transport of food product. Actually, this sieve tube is divided into sieve cell. Let us try to understand it, how actually it happens. Sieve tube I have shown here. Now, this sieve tube are divided into sieve cell. What I am drawing here are actually sieve plate. Try to understand this. These are sieve plates only. These are sieve cell. I have shown it here. These are sieve cell. Try to understand it. Okay? And this wall is actually perforated. Right? This sieve plate, these are sieve cell, no doubt. Sieve cell, and between two sieve cell, this is called sieve plate, and this sieve plate is actually perforated. It means it has minute holes. This minute hole, can you remind 9th standard? These minute holes are actually known as, can you remember the name of it? They are known as sieve pore. What we can call it? Sieve pore. See, these are minute holes present here are known as sieve pore. Try to understand. These are sieve cell, these are sieve pores, and actually the transport of material take place in both the direction. It can take place in downward direction also. Transport of material can also take place in downward direction also. It can also take place in upward direction also. That means you understood, food, that is the photosynthetic product, has to be transported in both the direction as per the requirement. Sometime it has to be transported in downward direction, sometime it has to be transported in upward direction. Now try to understand how it happens and how actually food, that is photosynthetic product, is transported either in upward direction, okay, or in downward direction. Actually, what is responsible for that and how it actually take place, I am just trying to explain you here only. Just for the sake of understanding, I am just erasing this so that you can understand it quite better. Okay, sieve pore you all know very well now. sieve cell also you all know very well. Okay, I am just trying to explain you. Food will transfer in upward direction as well in lower direction. Actually what happens, just try to understand. Okay, now we are trying to understand the process of how the transfer of food take place. Okay, suppose, as I told you in the starting, xylem tissue and phloem tissue are quite in vicinity, in neighborhood of each other. So I am just drawing the, this is xylem tissue, okay, this is phloem tissue. I am just drawing the xylem tissue just in beside. This is xylem tissue, okay, just in beside of the phloem tissue. This is xylem. And you all know very well what flows in the xylem tissue. So that is water in upward direction. You all know. Xylem tissue means xylem tissue cell actually consists of water which transferred from, understand, cell of xylem. Just let us just show cell of xylem, which are actually involved in the transport of water, forms a continuous passage, and the water is transported in this way, okay, by process of diffusion from one cell to another cell. Now try to understand, suppose some food is here in one sieve cell. This is starch in dilute form. See, try to understand. I have shown here starch in dilute form. How this starch can be transported either in upward direction or lower direction? You require to create some type of mechanism for the transport of food material, that is starch in dilution form. How can it be transported either upward or in lower direction? So actually what happens, xylem comes to the help of the phloem here for the transport of food material. What happens actually? Try to understand. Xylem cell try to create osmotic pressure here. So how it created? So xylem cell actually flows sucrose in the neighboring tissue. Understand? Sucrose actually enters here. I am just sucrose means one type of sugar, as you know. Actually water consists of sucrose, but some sucrose is by the process of diffusion transferred from xylem cell to the sieve cell. Because sucrose transferred in the neighboring sieve cell, can you tell me where is now higher concentration of water? Obviously in the xylem cell, because it has lost some sucrose which is transferred here, and as you know, water always transport from higher concentration to lower concentration, that is which you call the process of photosynthesis. Actually what happens, because sucrose came here, here water concentration is higher and here water concentration is lower. So due to the process of osmosis, water enters here and this is water. Try to understand. This water has entered from xylem cell into the sieve cell, and this water which enters here will try to put pressure on the photosynthetic product here. And because that osmotic pressure is created, the food is pushed downward and this way via sieve pore the food is transferred, and this way it can reach to each and every part of the plant. Understand? The same process occurs for transferring the photosynthetic product in upward direction also. Understood? So this way the topic has to be quite clear in your mind. Okay? What happened? Photosynthetic product in dilution form, understand, needs to be transported with the help of phloem component, that is sieve cell, either in upward direction or in lower direction, and for that purpose you require a specific mechanism, and that mechanism is created by phloem. What phloem do? Actually phloem try to create osmotic pressure, understand, on the food product here. For that purpose it try to decrease the concentration of water here, and for that it will try to flow some sucrose in the neighboring sieve cell, which will create a deficit of sucrose here but increases the concentration of water, and due to that water enter from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay? And because water enter here in this sieve cell, it try to pressurize, it create a pressure on the dilute photosynthetic product, and due to this pressure that photosynthetic product will move to any tissue having less pressure. So this way photosynthetic product can also be transported, understand, in higher plants. And this photosynthetic product has to be transported to those organs which require it, either growing region, root, stem, branches, fruit, seed, even birds, because birds has to blossom in the season of spring, so they also require some food product, understand, photosynthetic product for the formation of flower. You try to understand. So this is how photosynthetic product can also be transported. Okay? So before we end up today's lecture, my dear student, two topic has been clear in our mind. One, that is the transportation of food, and one, that is the transportation of water and minerals. And for transportation of food, which word is utilized? Translocation. Understand? So this can also be asked in board in 3 to 4 marks, because when you try to explain it in quite detailed content wise, it becomes a good question. So both the question can be asked in 3 or 4 marks. Understand? Because they both involve the drawing of diagram. Simple. In textbook they haven't given any diagram regarding the transport of food, translocation of food, but I have just shown you a simple diagram so that you can understand it. Understand? You can draw this diagram even in board exam also. So before we end up today's lecture, topic are clear in your mind? You understood about two things today. One, that is transportation of water and mineral in higher plant, and another, that is transportation of food product, food material in higher plants. Okay? That we call photosynthetic product, and role of which two tissues there? Xylem and phloem. And my dear student, one thing you must be knowing, most of the cell in xylem are dead cell, that you all know. Only some are living cell. Understand? That you studied in detail in 9th standard also. So two topics are over today. Understand? Homework, so we in this chapter we have started not dictating homework at the end of the lecture, but I sent 3 lectures PDF. You are already sent PDF of lecture 1, 2, 3, as you know. Understand? And for lecture 4, 5, 6, you will also be sent PDF, and through PDF you are getting homework and you are submitting it. Again I insist in biology, good, principally correct diagram is sufficient, proper label, understand, but at the same time the content level always carry good marks. Good diagram is no doubt an asset for you. So try to make some good diagram, understood, but at the same time concentrate on the content of the topic. Okay. So for today's lecture, thank you very much from Bharat sir.